interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, Hey friends, come on in. Freedom Now. Type in Freedom Now. It's great to be with you today. We have some important immigration news to cover in addition to the Q&As that we usually do on Mondays. Come on in, say hello, and where you're joining from. It's good to see you, Welly. Thank you for being here. All right. I see that McBean Immigration TV is live. Kweku, nice to have you. Others, come on in. Type in Freedom Now. Hey there, Georgia. Thank you so much. If you're joining today on Facebook, certainly share this live session with your feed. It is still the lunch hour for us here at McBean Law, but our phone lines are open and available between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. Hey there, Delmar. Thank you for being here. Good to have you. Today, guys, oh my goodness, we're all kind of recovering from this weekend, right? So much has happened here in the United States over the last couple of days. You guys have been seeing a lot of things unfold on TikTok and certainly on social media and YouTube. Today, I'm just going to cover a few major things that are happening in the world of immigration. Vanessa, it's nice to have you. Hey there, Karen. Florida is checking in. All right, Florida is in the house. Guys, let me know where you're joining from today. Deborah, it's nice to see you. Hey there, Jonah. Brendy, thank you. A lot of Floridians. Dominica, you saw that your country popped up recently, right? We talked, I don't know if all of you have seen the travel ban news that I shared with you guys via video yesterday. It's a short on YouTube. Watch it because there are 36 additional countries that the Trump administration is considering adding to the travel ban list. And these are countries, guys, 25 of them are African countries, okay? Including Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and many others are on the list, in addition to some Caribbean countries, such as Antigua is on the list, St. Lucia, and the articles that I read about the upcoming expansion of the travel ban says that on Saturday, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, signed a memo. By the way, I'm doing this from memory. This is not part of the script. So if maybe we could pull up maybe those countries so that I could run through some of those countries before we go today. But on Saturday, Marco Rubio signed a memo that was sent to U.S. diplomats across the globe saying that these countries have problems. There are security concerns. There are visa overstay concerns, which, by the way, every country has folks here in the United States who have overstayed their visa. But anyway, there are visa vetting problems that these countries currently have, and they need to fix these things and these issues. And there's a 60-day deadline to get some things in order. And so that's what's going on at this time. And we talked, guys, back in March, we've talked about this issue, the fact that they were going to have a red, orange, and then yellow list, right? So this is more like that yellow categorization of countries that have these security issues that need to meet new benchmarks that our government will be placing on these countries. And if they don't meet these benchmarks, then they might face a partial ban or maybe even a full suspension of entry into the United States. And so many of these countries, some of these countries, I should say, were noted back in March on the draft list. Of course, this is very concerning because part of what my understanding is from this memo is that our government is also saying to them that if they would enter into a third country agreement with us to accept deportees from other countries who's, these are folks who have a removal order or deportation order, yet they're still in the United States because their country is refusing to take them back. Their country is saying, we don't know them. We will not issue a travel document. We will not issue a passport to these people who we do not know. So that's your problem, United States. You keep these people. And so our government now is saying, well, if Nigeria, for example, decides to enter into an agreement with the United States to accept these other foreign nationals, then maybe Nigeria would be moved off of this travel ban list. Guys, I know how crazy that sounds, but that's what is part of this whole thing, that we would actually consider taking these countries off the list if they agree to take other nationals who are from other countries. So, guys, watch that video. It was published yesterday on McBean Immigration TV about the travel ban. But one other, the second big news I think you need to understand is the fact that today President Trump tweeted, I'm still going to say tweeted, okay? I don't know, I can't say X'd. It doesn't sound right. He tweeted an essay, okay, about sanctuary cities and the fact that they're gonna step it up with respect to ICE enforcement in sanctuary cities. And I know that you guys probably will not be able to see this, be able to read the text here. So I'm going to read just a portion of it. But in essence, he is saying that ICE needs to step it up in cities like New York, Chicago, New York City, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Here's what he says here in today's tweet. Our nations, and by the way, this is obviously coming out of a weekend of what 5+ million people who had been who protested, right? They were on the streets protesting against what is happening now with immigration enforcement. And so this is on the heels of that. Our nation's ICE officers have shown incredible strength, determination, and courage as they facilitate a very important mission, the largest mass deportation operation of illegal aliens in history. Every day, the brave men and women of ICE are subjected to violence, harassment, and even threats from radical Democrat politicians, but nothing will stop us from executing our mission and fulfilling our mandate to the American people. ICE officers are herewith ordered by notice of this truth to do all in their power to achieve the very important goal of delivering the single largest mass deportation program in history. In order to achieve this, we must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens in America's largest cities, such as Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, where millions upon millions of illegal aliens reside. These and other such cities are the core of the Democrat power center, where they use illegal aliens to expand their voter base, cheat in elections, and grow the welfare state, robbing good paying jobs and benefits from hardworking American citizens. These radical left Democrats are sick of mind, hate our country, and actually want to destroy our inner cities. And they are doing a good job of it. And then he goes on to say some other things here about open borders, transgender for everybody, and men playing in women's sports. Ideas that he's saying that the Democrats are supporting and pushing. And then he goes back now to immigration and says, and that is why I want ICE, Border Patrol, and our great and patriotic law enforcement officers to focus on our crime-ridden and deadly inner cities and those places where sanctuary cities play such a big role. You don't hear about sanctuary cities in our heartland. Friends, this was actually written by the president, okay? And if you're joining, just know that I'm reading a tweet from President Trump that he put out there today, this morning, June 16th. Okay, at 8 in the morning, about the fact that he would like to he is planning on expanding ICE enforcement in sanctuary cities, specifically Chicago, New York City, and Los Angeles. And he is asking, well, not asking, he's telling ICE and Border Patrol and local law enforcement to really step it up and to really get the job done in a bigger way in these sanctuary cities. Okay, so that is the latest from the White House. Now, you might be saying, well, but wait a minute. I could have sworn I also heard him say that ICE needs to scale back a little bit with respect to like even worksite raids, right? Yes, that's the other news. Just a few days ago, he said, ICE, you need to pull back on your raids at of farmers, hotels, and restaurants. And then a top ICE official actually sent an email to the department of heads saying that they need to not conduct worksite raids of those particular industries unless they are investigating something very serious like money laundering or human trafficking or something like that. So yes, there are some contradictions happening right now with respect to the policy decisions, but that is immigration. It will always be contradictory. But guys, just know that now is still the time for immigration, particularly naturalization, if you're eligible to free yourself from all of this craziness. If you're eligible for naturalization, make sure that you get it done now. Now, it's fast. Okay, it's a very fast process for naturalization, so get it done if you're eligible for it. Now, with that being said, I'm going to shift gears and go into some of your questions before I go on to the next topic. Someone says, Tommy says he just got his green card, but shouting freedom now for those who have yet to get theirs. Tommy, we love you. Congratulations. Continue to support this community because now is the time when they really need the encouragement. So congratulations on that. Come on in, guys. Let's see. Let's go. Let's scroll down here. So someone is asking what happens after someone is picked up by ICE. All right, what happens after their arrest? So when someone is picked up by ICE, the normal routine would be to obviously run that person through the system, their name, their whatever identification that the government can obtain about that individual, to run them through the system to see whether they already have a removal order or not, and also how long they've been in the country. Also, they will be looking to see if this individual has a criminal record, and if so, what type of record. And based on answers to all of those issues, ICE will act by detaining that person for a lengthy time and placing them in removal proceedings for an immigration judge to consider their case, or they will do an expedited fast track deportation of that individual. It just depends on some of the factors. If they meet, I hate to say it this way, guys, but if they kind of meet the eligibility criteria, so to speak, for expedited removal, then they would swiftly remove them. For other people are going under ICE's supervision and checking in with ICE. ICE is unable to deport them because maybe their country doesn't want to take them back. Maybe there's no travel document, or problems like those. So for those people, they get to stay here and they're under supervision for an unknown period of time. So it truly depends. Others are actually released, okay? And you guys see proof of that. Normal individuals who do not have a very serious background on the crime side, and even on the immigration violation side of things, you see that ICE actually releases them. You see them at, some of them are now men and women, the young people in particular who were arrested by ICE and detained for some days, are now out there as advocates speaking about their experiences. You see those TikTok videos. So ICE does in fact release a good number of people back into back home, and those individuals are in removal, a slower removal process before an immigration judge. So it truly just depends. Thank you for asking that great question. Um, How do I feel about the shortage of jobs? Well, we have a shortage of jobs here at McBean Law. Thank you for opening the door for me to say this now. Guys, go on a LinkedIn where you will see that we have several great positions available here in White Plains, and for qualified immigration attorneys, paralegals, legal assistants. We have a great need here, and we're recruiting so that we could help even more people, okay? So can we get the qualified ones? That's what we're looking for. That's what every employer is looking for, individuals who are good at what they do, all right? Freedom Now, California, Seattle. Thank you, Leo. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey there, Mercy. Thank you for watching. Let's go down. Let's go down. Someone says that they have a biometric appointment scheduled for November 2025. I think you might have meant that you've done your biometrics. You did your biometrics last year, November, and you're still waiting. What type of case do you actually have? Does anyone know? And these are too small, so oops. I was trying to see if I could make this a little larger, but we'll play around with this after today's show. Does anyone know if a pending I-130 and I-45 give you some type of protection against deportation? Aldo is asking. So Aldo, normally the answer is yes. It does allow individuals to finish up that process and get a decision by USCIS from USCIS. Without there being any negative consequence. Now, it truly is a case-by-case issue, because you can have someone who is going through an I-130, I-45 process that ICE may try to make an argument that that person should be deported in a fast way, but an attorney would obviously need to challenge that, because most people in this type of circumstance is not deportable in a fast way. And as a matter of fact, even some who entered through one of the Biden parole programs, one of those categorical parole programs, who has a pending I-130 and I-45 in process, ICE has already indicated, or DHS has already indicated, that those individuals do not have to leave now because they have their case before USCIS. And that is normally how it works. Freedom Now, New York City, New Jersey is in the house. Thank you for being here. Anything on people who registered under the alien registration requirement? I have not heard yet any negative news related to those who have registered recently under this resurrected alien registration requirement. Most people are already registered, guys, as the government said there, that most of you who enter the United States with a visa, you're already registered. Those who did not enter with inspection, then, you're the ones that this campaign is really targeting at this time. How about the raids pause? Sam is asking. So Sam, I touched on that very briefly, that a top official at ICE has indicated through an email that they need to pause the raids on those who work at restaurants, agricultural fields, so farmers, and then those who work at hotels. You might be saying, what about those who work in construction? Where are they? I didn't see them on that list. If someone saw construction or healthcare, I didn't see healthcare on that list either, although I have not seen this year any worksite raids of hospitals or nursing homes. Okay. Freedom Now, Nyla, good to see you. Thank you very much. Rishi is asking, is it true if you have a green card and you're out of the country, you can't come back to America? So for those of you who are green card holders who traveled, let's say over the last 3 months, and you're now back in the United States, can you testify, please, that I'm back, I had no problems, I'm back? Please do that to encourage others. There's some AI. I saw a video, I believe it's just AI created, that is sending out a lot of misinformation about the fact that green card holders are not eligible to return to the United States, which is the furthest from the truth. And I have a video out there as well saying that's not true. Okay. That's not true. Freedom Now, yes, some green card holders are facing a tougher time because of various reasons, but for the most part, most green card holders have no problems returning to the United States. Thank you guys for being here today. Again, if you're joining on Facebook, share this with your feed. Are there any new laws regarding renewing your U.S. passport? I have not seen anything new on that front. Please do not place your WhatsApp number. I see that someone has her WhatsApp number in here. We're going to have to delete all of these from her. No one should be sharing any number on this live public forum, please. And also, friends, after today's live session, most likely some of you will receive text messages or DMs, I should say, from someone purporting to be me or with my face and name. Just know that it is not me who will be texting you after today's session. It is not me. It's a scammer. So be careful and do not respond to any DMs. Someone says, I kind of knew that after the June 14th protest, things are going to get worse for immigrants. This is really sad. Yeah, we saw this coming, right? The rhetoric, and then they're going to step things up. As I've been saying, guys, I really think things are going to get worse before they actually get better, before they get normal. And with that being said, let's see. Before I go into more questions, friends, speaking of things being worse, we've talked before about the fact that ICE has a new quota of 3,000 arrests per day. But guess what? They're running out of money. They're already $1 billion over budget. $1 billion over budget. According to this article from Axios, it says that President Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown is pushing immigration and customs enforcement to the brink of a funding crisis. ICE is reportedly $1 billion over budget with months left in this fiscal year, raising concerns from both Democrats and Republicans in Congress. They are at risk of violating, DHS is at risk of violating the Anti-Deficiency Act, which I hadn't heard of before today, by the way, Anti-Deficiency Act, which bans overspending without congressional approval. Lawmakers who oversee DHS's appropriations warn that the agency could run out of money as soon as July, potentially triggering that violation of this act. So the push for 3,000 immigrants per day is starting to drain the systems, put a strain, I should say, on their resources. And the detention centers, as you guys now know, are already over capacity. In response, DHS has shifted funds internally and asked Congress for $2 billion more, right? That's how it goes. They're overspending and they're asking Congress to give us some more. Lawmakers fear that Trump may declare a national emergency like what he did before for the border wall in 2020 to move money from other agencies. Again, this is from Axios reporting out on this, and they're saying that some critics like Senator Chris Murphy accuse DHS of reckless spending, while others warn of potential legal violations if funding isn't approved. Trump's big, beautiful bill, remember that, not passed yet, only on the House side, as we've been tracking. The big beautiful bill would add 75 billion to ICE over the next 5 years. So that's where they're looking to have a more longer term strategy to stay afloat with the funding is through the big beautiful bill. But in the meanwhile, they're asking for 2 billion more just to get them through this year, which is kind of crazy, I think, because that's a lot of money, a whole lot of money. So guys, the work that you see on the streets, when you see them hanging out at the subways here in New York City, I see the videos as well. When you see them go into people's cars and break in the windows, when you see them on the street arresting people, all of that costs money. All of that costs money, and they've ran out of money. Okay, now let's see. Someone says, people, make sure that you have your documents with you at all times. This is going to get even more ugly. Yeah, it's good to carry with you documents to show your status. In particular, if you're here lawfully, if you're a U.S. citizen, maybe you should have something on you as well. I think, obviously, green card holders definitely carry your green card. You have to also keep your address updated with USCIS. It's the law when you change your address. If you're going through an immigration process, it's a good idea to have some evidence of that as well. All right. And just remember to know your rights. Okay, let's see. Go down a little bit. Let's see. And this is coming from a super chat. Super chat, can conditional green card holders travel now? Yes, conditional green card holders can travel. Yes, they can. Now, if you're a conditional green card holder, which is someone who has a 2-year green card, and let's say you're going through the I-751 removal of conditions process, and it's been maybe 3 years into that process because you now have a 4-year automatic extension. If you're that far into it and there's a strong likelihood that you're going to be called in for an interview, well, I wouldn't say that now is a good time for you to travel, at least not for an extended period of time. Also, if you are no longer together with your spouse and you're a conditional resident, well, just know and be prepared that it's possible for customs to ask you questions about your marriage. They can actually drill down and ask you questions about your marriage. And even before Trump returned to office, we've dealt with cases involving conditional residents who were questioned at the airport about their spouse and marriage and how things are going. And they raised suspicion and a flag in the system, and it got ugly. And then they had to come and work with us. So this is just normal routine, actually, for them. For customs. But just if you're in a situation like that, then maybe you shouldn't be traveling right now. If you have a criminal history or recent arrests, I don't think that you should travel right now, conditional green card holder. I would not, I would stay put. As my mother would say, as she says, she watches these lives all the time, and she's baffled by the fact that people are always asking questions about traveling. Why she says, why don't they keep themselves quiet until they get their green card, right? Just conditional resident. If you have some issues like a criminal record or marital problems, kind of keep yourself quiet for a little bit, unless obviously you have to travel for an emergency reason. And if that's the case, speak with a lawyer, okay, about your history and record before leaving the country. Let's go down here for a little bit. Let's go down. See, someone says, I did my naturalization in 2 months. Thanks for your advice. Told you guys, now is really, really, really the time for naturalization. I don't know really what's going on internally that's causing such a great processing of naturalization cases. You would think it would be the complete opposite, but let's just ride the wave. Ride it, right? If you're able to. Not everyone is able to. Is it safe to travel with advanced parole? This is in connection to an I-485 pending on travel ban. On travel ban. I'm not sure what you mean by on travel ban. So it is, I think for most people with with advanced parole, they should be okay traveling. I wouldn't say that you should be going to a travel ban country. I don't think that would be a good idea for you. Someone says, I'm taking my oath this week. Congratulations. Any update on reopening of administratively closed cases? Yes, Renee, we're getting some. We're getting some of our clients' old removal cases that were administratively closed. The government is placing them back on the docket. So that's the update. Is it safe to fill out the forms on your own if you cannot afford a lawyer? It just depends on number one, your capabilities. It's an individual determination. You know yourself better than anyone else, right? If you look at the application and you see questions on there that confuses you, you don't understand what they mean by the word inadmissibility or something like that. You obviously you do your homework. You could look into it, Chat GPT, Google. Yes, those can help you. But if you still don't understand beyond that, then I would say have a professional work with you on your form. Just don't do it on your own. There are still some nonprofits out there, although a lot of nonprofit budgets have been cut. Although I don't know if the private sector really stepped up to help them now with the shortfall that they have in their budget, but some nonprofits are still out there performing free services. You could take a look at those resources if you cannot afford an attorney. Also, Fred, let's see, I had, this is not news related. This is not news related. It's not. I think I covered all of my news. Um, the I shared with you, and this is a screenshot moment, okay? I've been sharing with you some free resources that are available. Why? Because I know that many of you are in some very deep waters right now and you cannot afford legal services. There are some free resources that are out there. A few that I know in particular. One here in the New York area. It's through the Legal Aid Society, I think. This is the New York Immigrant Family Unit Project. Obviously, I'm sure they're slammed right now with cases, but find out for yourself if you're qualified. And this is really for individuals who are detained by ICE. They may qualify for legal representation through this program if your case is in New York City, or if you're a New York City resident with a case in New Jersey, there's the email address there that you could contact them to inquire further about that resource. Let's see, what else did we share with you guys? On the free side. Then there's this family support hotline. This works. This is a hotline if you're worried about being detained and you have children and you need help coordinating things. Here's a phone number that you can call confidentially to help you with your coordination of things. Then there's also the court hotline, guys, that if you're in removal proceedings or if you have a case that was administratively closed and you're worried about being placed back on the calendar, call the automated hotline here for immigration court, put in your A number, and it'll give you the latest update about your case, including your hearing date, and where your hearing is going to be at and everything. You absolutely do not want to miss your hearing, because if you do, an immigration judge will issue a removal order against you in your absence. And then lastly, if you have an immigration court case hearing coming up and you're worried about being arrested right outside of the courthouse or courtroom, then download our free guide, Know Before You Go, Immigration Court Hearings and ICE Arrests, where we cover some basic things that you need to understand as you prepare for your hearing coming up, and documents that you should really consider bringing with you to court. Okay? So those are some free resources that we have available for you if you cannot afford an attorney. Let's go down. I know there are a lot of questions, and we never get through every question, as you guys know. I'm in California. Can you accommodate me when I inquire to your office? Bun, you can have a consultation with us and we'll see whether we could help you or not. you can reach out. Our phone number is right there on the screen for you to call and book a consultation. Hey, Hazel. Let's see. Gloria says that she did her VAWA. Her VAWA was approved, VAWA victim of domestic violence case. Did medicals in September, been waiting. What can I say about this? What can I say about this? My coffee has been sitting here so long that it got cold. Gloria, get a one-on-one. Honestly, the question is so broad. I don't know what's going on with your case. There's no way. No way I could say anything right now that would really be of value to you. We would want to know more about your background to see if there's any reason for concern. VAWA usually, the VAWA process takes, 3 years. It sounds like you're waiting on the I-485 process. They're looking at your immigration history to see if there's any reason for them to be concerned, okay? But you'll need a one-on-one with an attorney. I just got my 2-year conditional green card. Can I travel to my country? You probably can. I'm not hearing any problems that our clients, our conditional resident clients, are facing traveling at this time. Let's see. I have my 5 years. I have a visa, visiting visa. It's for 5 years. My country is banned. Will it affect me? It will not affect you, Calvin, because you already have your visa and you can travel on that visa. It can hurt you it can hurt you during a renewal process if the ban is still in place when your 5 years is up, so to speak, okay, when it expires. Let's see. Hey there, Ketley. What's going on with the U visa? The U visa, nothing's really going on with it. You right now at this time, you could still get a determination, bona fide determination. So you could still get a work permit at this time, and it still takes a long time to get approved. How long does it take to get a social security card and a work permit if you are married to a U.S. citizen? Nadira, you could check out some processing times that we've been publishing on Instagram and Facebook on these types of cases, the marriage cases. They usually take about 3 months. Sometimes it happens a little sooner. As of late, I think, I could be wrong. I know that some of our clients, it really depends on the case type, are waiting a little longer than 3 months for their work permit. And then the social, you'll have to do that on your own because USCIS is not coordinating things for folks anymore with the Social Security Administration. Have I heard about any TPS holder with a removal order being detained at a USCIS interview? I don't believe I have. TPS holder. I thought USCIS, did USCIS put out something, tweet something, a story, maybe a week or two ago about a TPS holder? I'm not, I thought I read something about a TPS holder. I forget what those specific facts are. Another way that you can keep track, here's a great way of keeping track of who USCIS is setting up at their interviews at their field office. Just follow them on X because they are publishing those cases, those stories. What if you get caught living in the United States for 5 years and you do not have a criminal record? Will they detain you? They could detain you. Yes, they can, and and at that point they will place you in removal. Okay. Is there another? Let's go down. Delaware, let's see. If your facts are really too long, it's kind of hard to process in this type of forum. I don't think they can pause the processing of green cards. Can they do that? Can they pause the processing of green cards? You know, they can come up with, so here's what we've seen so far. We've seen them hone in on different groups to pause the processing of those green card cases. You know, I don't think they can just do a blanket, oh, we're stopping everything. We're stopping all green card processing because of fraud, and we've got to do some investigation because we're seeing too many fraud cases coming through. They can't just like stop everybody's case. I don't think they can do that. They would have to pick and choose like what they have been doing, picking and choosing. And then you guys know that the judges have been weighing in and getting things back on track so that they could process these cases all the way until the end. Are they going after visa overstays? Yes. Yes. DHS, Christine Ohm, they issued a statement about a week ago, I think it was, stating that they are going to go after visa overstays in light of the terrorist attack involving the Egyptian man in Boulder, Colorado, setting fire on some U.S. citizens. They issued a very stern statement, DHS, saying that they're going to review their records and find out who is here in an overstay capacity. Obviously, they have millions and millions and millions of records to review because there are millions and millions and millions of visa overstays. Now, will they do that after a person? Will you be implicated into this if you already have a green card, you're asking? I do not believe that you would be part of this review. You've already passed through their scrutiny. You have status here, lawful permanent resident status in the United States. So you're not part of that, the new thing that they're going to be doing. How do I start the process of voluntary departure? So voluntary departure, first of all, and you know, folks are free to leave the United States when they choose to leave, okay? Nobody is holding anyone here, right? Right? That's the government's argument. Voluntary departure tends to be, there's a structure for it for individuals who are going through the removal process. It's an agreement. It's documented, and you leave by a certain date as promised to the court and to DHS ICE. That's the formal process. The government has a new process through the CBP Home app that allows individuals who decide that they're going to self-deport. They can use that app. They could even get $1,000 on their way out. And they would have to confirm that they're outside of the country through that app in order to be paid the $1,000. If you're interested in that process, you could go to DHS's website for their steps on how you may self-deport. What can a U.S. citizen do if ICE arrests you after you tell them you are a citizen? Marie is asking. So U.S. citizens, we are seeing the disturbing videos of U.S. citizens being detained and then released, ultimately released. They could see a civil attorney to see if they have a suit that they could file against the government for this unlawfully detaining them. But that's on the civil side, so a civil attorney will be able to advise you whether you have a case or not. Can I expedite my asylum case? Time is it? I think this has to be the last question, guys. Can I expedite my asylum case? You might be able to. We've done it successfully for a number of people. It just really depends on the facts. And also, you know, you want to expedite a case that you have a way of winning. If it's a winnable case, then yes, it makes sense to expedite it, but you don't want to expedite an asylum case only to then be referred over into removal proceedings. I would want to know, was your case filed on time within the 1 year, or was it filed late? Because if it was filed late, USCIS has an extraordinarily high rate of referral to immigration court of cases that are filed late. That the judge, immigration judge, consider the reasons why your application was filed late and whether it passed that reason passed muster with the court and whether you even have a good asylum case or not. That's what USCIS, that's usually their strategy, is to pass it on to the court for the judge to determine. But speak with one-on-one with an attorney. You can contact us if you choose to see whether we should go ahead and try to expedite your case. The last question is it a good time to do citizenship? Linda, yes, for most people. Guys, thanks so much for being with me today. It was wonderful being with you. We covered some important immigration news that you should be aware of. If you've missed those summaries, just watch the replay on McBean Immigration TV, and you know how to reach us, 914-898-9488, or you could email us to book an appointment at info@mcbeanlaw.com. Thanks so much, guys. Follow me on social media where you will see me live randomly throughout the week, answering more questions, delivering more news, and just being plugged in and connected to you. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.